How to make cookies. How to make a cookie. Not any cookie, but the cookie that you want to make with the things you have around the house. Something that you wanted to see inside of a cookie. Now, you know I don't have recipes, but I do have guidelines for making cookies, and that is as follows. A stick of butter is about half a cup of butter, and that right there is the last of the butter I'd made earlier. So like half a cup of butter and a about a cup of sugar. I know I should have used a little less when I'm using white granulated sugar. So with white sugar, probably should be like 3/4 of a cup. So now I'm going to make a cookie with the things that I have around the house. I'm going to use about half a teaspoon of baking soda, and oh, I used almond extracts for this cookie that I want to throw together here. I've never had this cookie before, but I wanted to try it now. So here, this is probably about a quarter of a teaspoon. Almond extract is pretty strong stuff, so don't use too much of it. Always throw a little salt in all your cookies. Kind of brings out the flavors. It tells all the flavors to come to the top. That was probably like a quarter of a teaspoon. You could use more than that. All right, busting up the butter here. Yeah, so I wanted to go with macadamia nuts and shredded coconut. And this is the other part. This is the other part of the basic cookie ingredient is about a cup and a quarter of flour. So a cup and a quarter of flour, about a cup of sugar. What else did I throw in there? Oh, about a half a cup of butter. That's the basis of it. That and one egg. That would be the basis of all of my cookies that I experiment with. Here comes the one egg. Now, to that, you add all the flavors and other ingredients. But if you have those basic ingredients that I just used so far, that is the basis for a cookie. And it'll be about, we'll end up with like 5 big cookies or 10 small cookies. I always make big cookies. I like them big. All right, so let's add the stuff here. Come on, get going. Add the junk. Here we go. Yeah. So I was pretty liberal with the coconut here because I put some inside of it, and I also put some on top, which I wanted. This, however, is sweetened coconut, so I should have used even less white sugar. It ended up being pretty sweet. I was fine with that. I thought this cookie ended up being really damn yummy, but it definitely could have been less sweet. So there I'm throwing in the macadamia nuts. Oh, yes, the back of my hands are wet because I wash my hands. What I edit out of the video is me washing my hands about 20 times every freaking half an hour. I'm a compulsive hand washer. All right, so that was the basis of the ingredients here: the flour, butter, sugar, salt, and baking soda. Those are the basic ingredients. So I'm going to get out of this 5 big cookies. I'll tell you, this cookie ended up being really yummy too. By the way, it was. Here, I'm putting extra coconut on the top. It was crispy on the outside and a little gooey on the inside. Oh, it was so yummy. That cookie right there was mmm. Look at the size of that bad boy too. Yeah, that was a good cookie. All right, here we go again. This is what I can see the brown sugar. Oh, so this is going to be chocolate chip cookies. So there's your half a cup of butter and 1 cup of brown sugar. Here comes the baking soda. Now that is what this time? About a quarter of a teaspoon, yeah. Quarter teaspoon is probably right on. Here comes the salt. And then in goes the flour. So it's like a cup and a quarter of flour. Maybe in a cup and an eighth. In between there, cup and an eighth, cup and a quarter to the 1 cup of sugar. That's where you want to be. Now, brown sugar is totally fine to go heavier on, especially on a chocolate chip cookie. Oh, and here's some vanilla extract. So this is the added flavors to the cookie base. Last one I used almond extract, which is a lot stronger. This one is vanilla extract. And that's a pretty mellow version of vanilla extract I have too. Okay, 1 egg. There's the basic cookie. Get that stuff out of the bottom. And how many chocolate chips do you add to chocolate chip cookies? Lots. There's no amount that's too much in my book. I mean, if the cookie was melting as a giant glob of chocolate on the pan, I'd say, yeah, it was probably too much. But anything before that is not too much. Go crazy with your chocolate chip cookies. You don't need a recipe for that, man. Put them in until it's right. And chocolate chip cookies, I think I should press these down. Hopefully I poke a little hole towards the middle. Yeah, I usually like to do that so I can almost ensure that they're not raw in the middle. Because when you're, something else going. When you're making chocolate chip cookies, or any of these cookies really, 10 minutes is the amount of time about. If you're taking it out and you're thinking, oh man, I wonder if this is too soft or it's going to fall apart, then that is probably perfect. That is exactly the time you want to take those cookies out. Oh, and as I recall, because I was goofing around with this other stuff, I left those cookies in probably about 12 minutes, which is 2 minutes too much. Damn it. I like them to be a little gooey on the inside. These were soft, but not gooey. I like it when it's just kind of gooey. So, yeah, 10 minutes, even those giant big cookies that I made, 10 minutes is plenty. Oh, okay, there's the cookie. Nice, big, chunky cookie. That's the way you make them, man. Yeah! Mm-hmm. All right, here we go again. So, there's your stick of butter, which is half a cup. This one is, this one I use 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar, and you'll see why right here, because I use molasses. Probably about 2 tablespoons more. That gets me close to the 1 cup. That's where I want to be. This is going to be a spicy raisin cookie. I've never had this cookie before either. I've had cookies like it. I mean, I've used ingredients like this before. Here, I used a pretty good amount of nutmeg. That's half a teaspoon. You could even go a little bit more than that. I like it. I love the spicy flavor that I put in there. So here comes that flour component again. And really, the idea to all this is, if there's something you want to see in a cookie, this is the basics of how to make a cookie. You can add whatever the hell you want. Whatever you got laying around, as long as it's not weird. Oh, even if it is weird, you can throw weird shit in there. But you don't need a recipe to make cookies. You just need the basic ingredients, and then you're free to experiment and put in there flavors you've been dying to try. There's the egg. Here we go with the raisins. Now, I just figured, this is about, I didn't want it to be raisin crazy, but I wanted, raisin crazy. That might be the name of this cookie. I just wanted that raisin sweetness in there. And I floured my hands for this one. Yeah. See, you see how soft those were when I just moved them with the ladle there? See how soft they were? Or the spatula, I mean. That's good. And when I was doing this, as I recall, the cookies told me they wanted a glaze on top of them. You have to listen to the cookie. So I started making a glaze. This glaze is just confectioner sugar and butter, which is a really nice, yummy, sweet, buttery glaze to make for your cookies. Because this will stick to the top. It'll get a little solid. And it'll give you that buttery yum flavor. I'll tell you, these cookies, of the 3, all 3 of them were good. This one was spectacular. I loved it. It was it was spicy and extremely moist. And that buttery sweet that I put on top just made, man, this was like a gingerbread cookie, but not hard. It was very soft. And it was a little more flavorful than a gingerbread cookie and super yum, man. I can't tell you how good this was.